Ever wonder what it is like to live with a girl who is a total contradiction? On campus, she is an untouchable, ice-cold goddess, but the second she steps through our door, she completely unravels into a lazy, hopeless mess who only wants to stay in bed. She clings to me, 24/7 demands I wash her worn stockings, and sneaks into my room when I am out claiming she got lost. She even buries her face in my blanket, breathing it in all because I forgot to wear a mask on my very first day of school. My ridiculously good looks drove the entire female student body into an absolute frenzy. Even the 50-year-old cafeteria lady started calling me her sweetheart. Terrified by the chaos, I fled off campus to rent a private apartment of my own. But little did I know I would end up sharing that place with the campus queen herself. The landlord looked at us both and said, "I know your situations. I only have one 2-bedroom unit left. You both want privacy, but neither can afford a whole place alone. Unit on your own, so why not share?" I turned to the girl beside me and asked what she thought. She hesitated, then gave a slow nod. She had her own issues to deal with, and I did not seem too bad. Just like that, we reached an agreement. We signed the lease, grabbed our bags, and she immediately pointed to the bedroom on the left, claiming it as hers. I nodded and took the other room. By the time we finished unpacking, it was already 8 at night. My stomach was growling, and I was about to head out for food when I walked into the living room. She was sitting on the couch. I had not paid close attention before, but in the warm glow of the lamp, her face looked incredibly delicate, her skin flawless, and her eyes strikingly clear. She noticed me and spoke in a cool, calm tone, asking if we could talk. I sat down on the couch near her. Her voice was beautiful, but had a distinct chill. "Since we are roommates now," she said, "we should set some basic ground rules. Do you not agree?" I nodded, telling her to go ahead. No personal belongings in shared areas, alternate cleaning duties, no bringing strangers over, no entering each other's rooms without asking, and absolute quiet at night. After setting those terms, she stared straight at me. I told her I had no objections as those rules seemed perfectly fair. I introduced myself as Xiao Chen and stood up to head out. She seemed surprised by how easily I agreed, which clearly relaxed her a bit. She turned back and mentioned her name was Sophia Sue. And just like that, our life as roommates officially began. The next morning, I stepped out to find the living room empty. Realizing I was already running late, I grabbed my bag and sprinted toward campus. By the time I arrived at the classroom, I was totally out of breath. The second I walked in, the girls gasped and whispered about how gorgeous I was, while the guys immediately shot silent daggers at me with their eyes. I ignored the noise and headed straight to the back row by the window. Suddenly, another wave of excitement rippled through the classroom, this time from the guys. I stayed in my own zone until footsteps approached and a familiar scent drifted past. I glanced up and froze. It was Sophia Sue. She walked right past me without a single glance and sat directly in the desk ahead of mine. Once everyone found a seat, our instructor walked in and stepped up to the podium. "Hello, everyone," she said. "I am your main instructor and homeroom advisor, Miss Zoe. For the next 4 years, I hope we can build a great connection. If you ever need anything, please come find me, and I will do my best to help." After a few announcements, it was time for self-introductions. Students went up one by one until it was Sophia's turn. She walked up gracefully, gave a brief hello, introduced herself, and immediately sat back down. Instantly, whispers rippled through the room. People wondered if she was from the famous Sue group. Apparently, she was actually a second-year student who had taken a sudden leave of absence, causing a major stir. Yet she still remained at the absolute top of the campus popularity list. No one had knocked her off that top spot yet. Listening to the gossip, I quietly frowned. I had no idea my new roommate was a wealthy heiress. Why would she even rent? I shook the thought off since it was not my business. Once introductions wrapped up, we had to elect class representatives. The other spots filled up fast, but when it came to class rep, nobody raised their hand. Miss Zoe frowned, noting that since nobody volunteered, she would have to handpick someone. Her eyes scanned the room and landed directly on me as I stared out the window. She called me up, but I did not even realize she was talking to me until the guy ahead tapped my desk and whispered that the teacher wanted me. Miss Zoe called out my name, urging me to step forward. I hesitated, walked to the front, and admitted honestly that I had no desire to be the class representative. The moment I said it, the entire classroom burst out laughing. Wondering if all good-looking guys were this amusing, Miss Zoe told me to be serious, or she would assign me the role anyway. I stumbled through a real speech, and since nobody else stepped up, she smiled and congratulated me as the new rep. I felt completely dead inside. Once class finally dismissed, I stopped by a nearby market to grab some groceries and headed straight home. But the moment I pushed our apartment door open, I was greeted by a surprising sight. Sophia was on the couch eating takeout. She watched me walk in with grocery bags, wondering what I was doing. I headed into the kitchen, rolled up my sleeves, and got to work. She stared, zoning out that I actually knew how to cook. And the aroma was incredible. Soon I carried 2 dishes over to the dining table. Glancing at Sophia, who was still working on her takeout, I hesitated before offering her some of the fresh food if she wanted to try it. Sophia blinked, caught off guard by the invitation. She looked at her cold takeout, thought for a second, and came to sit across from me, offering a quiet thank you. I waved it off, saying it was no problem at all. I added that I never expected us to be classmates too, and properly introduced myself. She replied likewise, studying my face. Noticing the bright red tips of my ears, a tiny smile touched her lips. She clearly had not expected me to be so shy. When we finished, I went to clear the table, but Sophia stopped me. Since I cooked, she insisted on doing the dishes. I tried to protest, but she was firm. Watching her walk to the sink, I breathed a sigh of relief. First time living with someone of the opposite sex, and so far, there was no drama at all. That evening, Sophia was sprawled out on her bed, scrolling through her phone, bare feet dangling off the edge. She looked nothing like the cold, untouchable goddess everyone else saw. Then her phone rang. The screen read, "Mom." She paused before answering. Her mother asked how university was going. Sophia took a quiet beat, replying flatly that it was fine. After a heavy silence, a soft sigh came. "I am sorry, Sophie. Things have been really hectic for me lately. Once I get through this stretch, I will have more time when your break comes. We can go somewhere." "It is fine. Stay busy," Sophia replied breezily. Her mom pressed on, asking if she had enough money. Sophia replied that Grandpa had already taken care of it, hanging up, before her mother could say another word. Back in her high-rise office, Mrs. Sue stared at the silent phone and sighed, knowing her work always came before her daughter. Her gaze drifted to a photo frame on her desk. In it, she and her husband were wrapped in each other's arms, glowing with happiness. But then that tragic day came, changing everything. Staring at the photo, her eyes welled up. "I miss you so much." Meanwhile, back at the apartment, once dinner was ready, I knocked on Sophia's door, calling out that food was on the table. She composed herself and opened the door to find 2 bowls of rice scooped and several delicious dishes laid out. The incredible aroma made her mouth water. She sat down to eat, and after a quiet moment, Sophia spoke up about something important. She insisted she could not keep eating my food for free. I shrugged, suggesting we just split the grocery costs, since cooking for 2 is virtually the same effort. But she argued that since I did all the labor, only paying for ingredients was unfair. She proposed a 60-40 split of the food costs, instead saying she would not feel right otherwise. She was dead serious. I laughed and agreed, and we went back to eating in comfortable silence. After dinner, I headed in to take a shower. But when I stepped out completely shirtless, I ran straight into Sophia in the living room, getting a glass of water. We both froze. Sophia reacted first, slamming her hands over her eyes and screaming that I was a pervert. Realizing I had completely forgotten I was no longer living alone, I quickly apologized and bolted into my room. Sophia stumbled blindly toward hers, both of our doors slamming shut at the exact same moment. Sitting on the edge of my bed, I cringed. Old habits die hard. I flopped back down, remembering military training started tomorrow, and I really needed some sleep. Meanwhile, Sophia leaned against her door, cheeks burning, as that shirtless image played on repeat in her mind. She slapped her face trying to sleep, but tossed and turned all night. By morning, she had dark circles under her eyes. When I stepped out, she glared at me. I winced and promised to be much more careful next time. Seeing my genuine apology, she let it drop. But then without thinking, I blurted out that she didn't exactly get a bad view right. Her anger flared instantly. She yelled my name, making my stomach drop. I backed away, denying everything as she marched into the bathroom. I collapsed onto the couch. I am bored out of my mind, but something feels off. She has been in there for about 10 minutes. Why is she not out yet? I walk to the bathroom door and knock. "How long have you been in there? Why are you still not out? I still need to get ready. At this rate, I will be late." Inside, Sophia hears every word. She smiles, checks the time, and a mischievous grin spreads across her face. Outside, I am pacing frantically. "Come on, please, come out. I really cannot hold it. Why did I even say that? What was I thinking?" Inside, Sophia hears the desperation in my voice, and suddenly it is not so funny anymore. Did he just call her lady? Does she look that old? Once she decides she has had enough fun, she steps out of the bathroom. I do not even glance at her. I slip inside and lock the door. Sophia stands in the hallway trying to muffle her laughter. She does not know why she enjoys teasing him. She is not someone who opens up easily, yet this guy she barely knows keeps making her act out of character. Maybe it is the time they have spent together. The way Xiao Chen makes her feel is not unpleasant. Or maybe it is his cooking. Either way, there is something familiar about him. Sophia stops overthinking and she glances toward the bathroom, lets out a soft laugh, and heads off to school. 20 minutes later, I arrive at the classroom door completely out of breath. Sophia, already seated in the back row, sees me arrive. She cannot hold back her smile. Miss Joe does not look amused. First day of military training and the class rep is already late. Tell me what happened. I glance back at Sophia, catching those amused eyes of hers. Not bad. She looks good when she smiles. I turn back to Miss Joe. I am sorry I overslept. No way am I telling on Sophia. After a lecture from Miss Joe, I finally get to take my seat. When I reach the back of the room, I find that the last row window seat is already taken by Sophia. I shoot her a glare, but she stares right back without blinking, a smug smile on her lips. I take the row in front. Once Miss Joe finishes giving instructions, we head out for drills. The morning of military training flies by. The moment the drill sergeant calls it, everyone cheers and heads to the cafeteria. I walk past Sophia, glance at her, and say nothing. She falls in step behind me, grinning. Still holding a grudge class rep, I roll my eyes and ignore her. I want spicy poached pork slices for lunch, she says. Now that she has a personal cook at home, she stops buying takeout. She stays behind just to wait for me. You are really treating me like your personal chef. We made a deal, remember? Or are you okay with me going hungry? Totally fine with it. I scoff and speed up. She knows I am bluffing and catches up. I added you on WeChat, accept it. Why? To send you grocery money. She gives me a look like I am missing something obvious. Once I accept her friend request, she immediately transfers $5,000. My eyes go wide. That is too much. It is all I have on me right now, should cover a while. If it runs out, just ask. It is more than enough. Back home, Sophia heads straight to the bathroom. I go to the kitchen and start on lunch. By the time she is done, the food is ready. Sophia eyes the 2 dishes on the table. One of them is exactly the spicy poached pork slices she had wanted. She swallows. I am going to shower. Start without me. I disappear into the bathroom. Sophia picks up her chopsticks, pinches a slice of pork, and takes a bite. Her eyes close. So good. She cannot stop herself from reaching for more. Over the following days of military training, the class transforms. Miss Joe decides to reward everyone and buys several big watermelons. She asks the class rep to cut and hand them out. I go ahead and distribute the slices. When I finish, I notice Sophia handing her slice to Drill Sergeant Liu. Here, Sergeant. We have plenty. Sergeant Liu tries to refuse, but Sophia is persistent. He finally accepts with a thank you. When she returns, her watermelon is completely gone. His water bottle has been empty for a while, and there is no time to get more. She decides to tough it out and finds a shady spot to sit. Just as she settles down, a slice of watermelon appears in front of her. She turns, hardly believing it, and finds me sitting beside her. For you. Sophia does not take it right away. She asks, is this yours? No, it is extra, go ahead. Sophia takes it. She notices the faint flush at the tips of my ears and cannot look away for a long moment. Then she smiles. Thank you. The watermelon is sweet and cool. Sophia thinks it might be the best watermelon she has ever had. She knows there was no extra slice. What she is eating is Xiao Chen's share and her own slice, the one she gave Sergeant Liu. He must have seen her do that. Military training flies by, and 2 weeks pass in the blink of an eye. I leave campus and head to a nearby bubble tea shop. Boss Zach, the man inside, looks up. There you are, finally back. Business dropped when you were gone, man. That is Zach, the shop owner, back when I was looking for a part-time job over the summer. He took one look at my face and immediately saw dollar signs. He hired me on the spot, and as it turned out, he made the right call. Bubble tea sales went through the roof all summer, and most customers were girls. After a quick chat with Zach, I get back to my station. Just then, a woman's voice drifts in from outside. Is the owner incoming? I carry a box out and stop cold when I see Sophia. She looks just as stunned to see me. Both of us freeze. The girl beside her, Lisa, also stops dead, her brain short-circuiting at the sight of me. The 3 of us stand there in silence until I snap out of it first. What can I get you? Lisa snaps back to reality, still completely starstruck. 1 bubble tea and 1 lime yuzu tea, please. Got it, 1 moment. After they pay, the 2 girls settle into their seats. Sophia, that guy is seriously so hot. Sophia does not react. Lisa prods her. What, you are not excited? Sophia thinks to herself, I see him every day. What is there to be excited about? Oh, right, you hate guys. Sophia ignores that and just says, he is in my class. Oh, that explains it. Lisa shoots Sophia a teasing look. So do you have any feelings for him, or are other girls after him? Sophia's eyes narrow into a glare. Stop it. Before Lisa can dig further, I arrive with their drinks. Lisa watches me walk away and finally exhales. Okay, seriously, I think I am falling. I want to go after him. Sophia instinctively bites down on her straw, a strange, unsettled feeling stirring in her chest that she cannot explain. Then go for it, he is popular. Lisa picks up on the edge in Sophia's voice immediately and breaks into a grin. Oh, Sophia, you like him too, don't you? Who said that? The flustered look on Sophia's face is all the confirmation Lisa needs. She knows her best friend better than anyone. Everyone sees Sophia as cold and distant, but Lisa knows she is just not good with words, and now she is actually falling for a guy. Lisa, being the supportive best friend she is, makes a decision. So you like him, then I will back off. Lisa, say one more word, and I will hit you. Lisa shivers and throws up her hands. Fine, fine. Why are you always so scary? Seriously, you are going to scare him away. Sophia stops listening to Lisa and looks over at Xiao Chen. I am busy at the counter making drinks. Two girls are waiting, eyes literally sparkling as they watch me. I hand them their cups with zero expression. For reasons she cannot name, Sophia feels a small sting watching that, but also somehow a small wave of relief. It was his criminally good looks that made her agree to be his roommate without thinking. If he were warmer and more outgoing, he would have even more girls after him. The thought catches her off guard. When did she start paying this much attention to Xiao Chen? She comes back to herself and meets Lisa's knowing smirk. Her face goes red. Stop looking at me like that. Sophia. Do you have any idea how long you were staring? Sophia shoots her a look and stands up. Let's go. Not even one last look. Sophia ignores her, grabs her lime yuzu tea, and walks out. Lisa scrambles after her. After parting ways with Lisa, Sophia returns to the apartment. The quiet of the empty room hits her with a mix of feelings she cannot quite name. She remembers she has me on WeChat. Without really thinking, she pulls out her phone and types, "Coming home to cook tonight." When my reply comes back as a yes, something warm flickers inside her like a kid who just got candy. Sometime later, the front door clicks open. Sophia gets up and sees me walking in with armfuls of groceries. I give her a quick smile and head to the kitchen. She follows and offers carefully, "Hey, I can wash the vegetables." "No need, just sit." "No way am I making you do that," I say. She asks quietly, "I am sorry. Does this mess up your plans?" "Not really. I am heading out later to eat with a friend, so I won't be eating here." Sophia nods and goes back to the living room. When I bring the food out, she hesitates. "Were you working a part-time job this afternoon?" "Yeah." "Is there an opening there?" I stare at her. "You want to get a part-time job." Sophia gives a small nod and looks down. "If it is too much to ask, forget it." "I can look into it for you. Leave it to me." "Okay, thank you." My phone buzzes. It is Ray, who I just added today. "Barbecue at the food street near school, hurry up." I glance at Sophia and say I am heading out. She gives a quiet, okay, lips pressed together. The door closes and a hollow feeling settles over her. On the other side of the city, I find the barbecue spot Ray texted me. He waves me over. "Class rep over here." I walk over and pull up a everyone orders quickly, and the food starts flowing. The conversation picks up, and the mood gets lively. Midway through eating, Ray leans in with a conspiratorial look. "Everyone remember our campus queen. How could we forget Spit It Out?" Ray grins like he knows something. "You all know she was originally a second-year student, right? But I have got intel you do not have. You know she took a year off, but the real story behind that, nobody knows. Everyone leans in hooked. Quit stalling and spit it out." Even I put my food down to listen. She used to be completely untouchable on campus. Guys lined up just to see her, but she kept everyone at a cold distance. No wonder she never had a boyfriend. Still, plenty of guys tried their luck. One rich trust fund kid went after her, and she literally beat him up right after she took a leave of absence. Some blame a family emergency. Others say she got suspended. Nobody actually knows. Ray leans back, looking incredibly pleased with himself. Pretty good gossip, right? He bragged about digging that up from a senior. Everyone nods in approval and goes back to eating while I sit there quietly processing it all. Then Ray slaps a hand on my shoulder. "Hey, pretty boy. Xiao, I have got a question for you. I get the feeling you and our campus queen are getting pretty close. Is there something going on between you two?" Ray raises an eyebrow, wearing that smug grin that says he already knows the answer. "Nothing," I tell him. "Yeah, right. Nobody is buying that. I have seen you two walking together, and those little moments during training do not look normal. So how far along are you? Seriously, nothing is going on. I insist. I am not looking for a relationship right now. Ray obviously does not believe me, but he lets it go when he sees I am done talking. After finishing our food, everyone heads home. The next morning, I wake up early. It is the first real day of classes, and I refuse to be late again. When I step out, Sophia is already at the bathroom sink, brushing her teeth. I sink onto the couch to wait. When she finally steps out, I cannot help but tease her. If you pull the same trick as last time and hog the bathroom for 15 minutes, I am finished. Relax, there is still plenty of time, she says, smiling to herself. She is smiling to herself as I grab my things. Sophia grabs her bag and follows me. In the elevator, I yawn, barely awake. You did not have to wait for me, I say. Don't flatter yourself. She snaps, turning her nose up and looking away. When we reach the classroom, she immediately makes her move, claiming the back row window seat. Sorry, you will have to find somewhere else, she says. I just scoff and drop into the seat right next to her. Sophia actually jumps once she processes what just happened. Crimson rushes to her cheeks as she opens her mouth, then quickly shuts it. I sit where I want, I say. Sophia huffs and turns away. Having a guy sit this close clearly makes her uncomfortable. I, on the other hand, cannot stop staring. Why does she look so incredibly adorable when she is angry, rosy cheeks, lips pressed tight? She looks genuinely dangerous. She notices me staring and stomps her foot down onto mine hard. Ow, that girl has serious strength. Thankfully, the professor walks in shortly after, forcing us both to get it together. The lecture is clear, but there are two specific points I just cannot follow. I glance at Sophia next to me. She is taking meticulous notes. She suddenly turns. What are you looking at? I have a couple of questions, I admit. Sophia nods, suddenly all business. I lean over, and suddenly we are incredibly close. From where I am sitting, I catch a faint trace of her scent and completely forget to look at the notes. Instead, I find myself staring at her profile. Her skin is flawless, pale and smooth, just like a peeled egg. The thought alone makes my face burn even hotter. Did you get all that? Sophia finishes explaining and looks up to find me completely flushed and zoned out. She probably thinks I am being weird, because her own face goes bright red. I quickly snap back. Yeah, I got it, I lie. She obviously does not believe me, staring me down until the pressure makes me crack. Okay, fine, I did not get it. So you did not understand, or you just were not listening. I zoned out, I confess. She slaps her forehead, then patiently explains it again. This time I actually pay attention. For the rest of the lecture, Sophia puts in her earphones to listen to music staring out the window. Her eyes hold a deep longing she cannot seem to hide. When class ends, she packs up her things, glances my way, and speaks. Whatever you make for dinner is fine, she says. I do not notice her slightly red eyes or the quiet weight in her voice. We head our separate ways. Sophia goes home while I walk to the market alone to pick out some fresh fish. Still, even I can tell something is off with her. I first noticed it when she put in her earphones, but I figured it was not my place to pry. When I get back with the groceries, the apartment is dead quiet. I head straight to the kitchen and start cooking, eventually calling her out for dinner. The moment she sits down, her eyes lock onto the steamed fish. She carefully picks up a piece, placing it in her mouth. Suddenly her eyes widen and she just stares at me. Is it not good, I ask? Watching her expression, worried I ruined the dish. No, it is actually really good, she murmurs. I nod, not quite sure why we both fall silent, focusing entirely on our food. Not another word is spoken. Soon every last piece of fish has disappeared into Sophia's bowl. After dinner, she retreats to her room in silence, sitting on the edge of her bed as tears fill her eyes. She simply cannot hold it together anymore. She breaks down, weeping quietly. The taste is just too similar. It is exactly the same, Dad. I miss you so much, she whispers. Meanwhile, I have absolutely no idea that the dinner I made has pulled her back into these painful memories. The next afternoon after class, I turned to Sophia. I looked into that part-time job we talked about. Want to go check it out? Her face immediately lights up. Is it at the Bubble tea shop? No, Zach is not hiring right now, but I found a cashier opening at the convenience store next door. Interested. Honestly, any job works for me, she says. Then let's head over. As we walk, I explain how I spotted the help wanted sign in their window after finishing my shift one day. I had talked to the owner and she agreed to meet her. But now looking at Sophia, the owner's eyebrows pull together. My stomach drops a little. Is something wrong, I ask. The owner looks Sophia up and down. Can you handle hard work? There is more to this job than it looks. I am technically hiring a cashier, but when shipments arrive, I need help moving heavy boxes. I cannot manage that alone, so I need someone who can really pitch in. Honestly, I assumed your classmate would be a guy. Sophia looks her dead in the eye. I can handle it. The owner relents. All right, let us give it a try. I know she only agreed because I told her I work next door and can help out if needed. I head back to my shift at the bubble tea shop while they discuss the pay. Not long after, Sophia walks in wearing her new red uniform. I got the job, she says, smiling with quiet delight. That is great. Thank you for making this happen, she adds. We chat for a bit before she heads back to her station. At 9 that night, I finish my shift and walk past the convenience store. Sophia is still busy, so I head home ahead of her. About 15 minutes later, she clocks out and swings by the bubble tea shop. Seeing I am not there, she asks Zach. He left about 15 minutes ago, Zach answers. Hey, you must be that kid's girlfriend, right? You two look great together. Sophia's face flushes instantly, completely caught off guard. She stammers, We are not, then bolts out of the shop, leaving Zach laughing to himself. That kid has all the luck. Outside, Sophia's cheeks are burning. She cannot fathom why everyone seems to think we are a couple. We are just classmates, right? She is still lost in these thoughts as she walks back to the apartment, opening the door. She looks up, and there I am, fresh out of the bathroom and shirtless again. Sophia screams. I immediately bolt. She is left standing in the living room with her jaw clenched tightly. That is twice now. I think she genuinely wants to beat me up. I lean against my bedroom door, catching my breath. I swear I did not mean for this to happen. I assumed she would not be off work this early, but here we are. A sharp knock on my door breaks the silence. Xiao Chen. Stop playing dumb, put some clothes on, and get out here. She is absolutely furious, even throwing out a curse word. Since we live under the same roof, I have no choice but to face her. I open the door to find her glaring. I grimace. Look, this was a total accident. An accident. This is the second time, she snaps. I'm starting to think you do this on purpose. New rule, no walking around shirtless in the shared spaces. Next time, I will actually hit you. I scratch my head and quickly agree. The first time was an honest slip, but this time was just terrible timing. Clearly, I need to break this habit. The next morning, Lisa shows up at our classroom door right after class. She scans the room, finally. Spotting Sophia tucked away in the back corner with me sitting right next to her, she looks closer. Wait, that is the guy from the bubble tea shop? A knowing smirk spreads across Lisa's face. She knew Sophia was lying. If she really felt nothing for him, why on earth would she let a guy sit right next to her? Just then, Sophia finishes packing up and heads out, only for Lisa to ambush her with full gossip energy. Okay, spill, who is he? You actually let a guy sit next to you. We are just classmates, Sophia insists. I did not even ask that. Why are you so jumpy? Something is definitely going on, Lisa teases. But before she can finish, Sophia kicks her. Lisa rubs her backside, groaning. Fine, I will just find out on my own. That afternoon after class, Sophia and I walk toward our respective jobs. Along the street, a sleek black SUV is parked at the curb. Someone inside watches the two of us walk away, their eyes narrowing. It is Mrs. Sue. She has finally carved out a moment from her packed schedule to visit Yang City and check on her daughter, only to find her straight out of class and heading off to a part-time job. But the guy walking right beside her is what truly worries her. She has never seen her daughter get this close to any guy before. She tells the driver to follow us, watching as we each disappear into our shops. Mrs. Sue realizes her daughter is actually working a part-time job. The sight stings and guilt hits her hard, especially seeing Sophia standing behind that counter, looking so focused and serious. She wants to step inside, but when she remembers how strained things are between them, she sighs and tells the driver to move on. Miss Wan, are you sure you do not want to see her? You know how she is. If you go in now, it will only make things worse, and we are already running short on time. The driver sighs and pulls away. Mrs. Sue keeps her eyes glued to the shop window as long as she can. Then she quietly commands, look into that guy. She is genuinely curious what kind of person could actually get close to her daughter. Back in the convenience store, Sophia gets a text from her mom. It is a cash transfer with a quick note telling her to eat well and enjoy school. Sophia stares at her phone, conflicted, before finally accepting the money. She replies with a quick thanks. When her shift ends, Sophia heads for the exit just as I walk in. You are still here, I shrug. Friday nights are crazy. The owner grins, teasing that her boyfriend came to see her again. Sophia blushes instantly. Please do not tease us, we are only classmates. The owner just smiles knowingly. She can see right through it. I grab 2 cans of beer from the cooler and ring them up. The owner notes that I was off hours ago, adding another tease as we head out. Sophia and I walk together. She watches me crack open a can and take a sip. "You really should drink less," she says. "This is literally the first time I've ever had a drink around you, and you are already lecturing me. Alcohol is terrible for you," she warns. I just wanted a taste. Back home, I crash onto my bed and fall asleep instantly. When Sophia finishes her shower, the living room is empty. She looks toward my room. Did 2 sips really knock him out? The next morning, I get up early for a shower. When I step out, Sophia is standing in the doorway watching me with pure annoyance. "Showering at dawn, yet you passed out from 2 sips of beer." She cannot resist teasing. "If you cannot handle it, do not drink," I try to defend myself, explaining I was just exhausted, but she already slipped past me. Truth is, she really had to use the bathroom, but finding me in the shower almost made her wait. But seeing my tired face triggered her mischievous side. She wanted to mess with me. When she comes out, she sees me making breakfast. "Can I order?" she asks. No. Sophia pouts, but there's nothing she can do. She cannot cook to save her life, so she gladly eats whatever I make because it is always delicious. It is the weekend, and after breakfast, Sophia heads out to practice taekwondo with Lisa. They do not finish up until noon. "Yeah, I have proof, and denial will not save you." Lisa waves her phone in Sophia's face. On the screen is the university forum, showing a photo of the 2 of us walking together, surrounded by envious comments. Sophia's icy glare locks onto Lisa with lethal precision. Lisa quickly steps back. "You can threaten me all you want, but you cannot change the facts." Sophia clenches her fist, ready to snap when her phone suddenly rings. It is me. She steps aside and answers. "What took you so long? What are you doing?" The sharpness in my voice catches her off guard. "We are out of groceries, so just grab some while you are out." "Sure, what do you want?" "Whatever you feel like I say." Sophia agrees, changes direction, and heads to the market. She returns quickly, arms loaded with groceries. This should last 2 or 3 days. I inspect everything and nod, looking at her with mild exasperation. "How much do you like fish?" She looks away. "Is that a problem?" "You said whatever I wanted." I smile and promise to make fish soup later. Watching me move around the kitchen, she pulls out her phone and opens the post Lisa had shown her. She scrolls through the comments, her expression growing colder with each one. She wants to track down every single commenter and hit them. We are just classmates and roommates. These people know nothing and are just making things up. But looking back at the past few weeks we have spent together, it really does feel like something more. Sophia's face flushes, and the thought terrifies her. Food is ready. My voice snaps her back. She sits down cautiously, asking after a moment, "Have you seen the school forum?" The forum number 1. I pull out my phone and open it, my eyes going wide. Sophia watches my reaction, gripping her chopsticks. I look up at her with a strange expression. The Campus Queen rankings are open. It says, "Vote for the one you like." Do you want me to vote for you? I'd be happy to. That is not what Then what are you trying to say? Sophia points me to the actual posts. So I shrug. People make things up. You know what we are, roommates, nothing more. Why care? Sophia is caught off guard by how unbothered I am. Why are you looking at me like that? Did I say something wrong? No? I give her a sly smile. You are really sure you do not want my vote? The weekend passes and classes resume. Before the lecture starts, Miss Jo announces that due to rainy days and the upcoming National Day holiday, the school is combining the freshman welcome event with the holiday show. Anyone wanting to perform should sign up with her. Once she finishes speaking, Miss Jo begins her lecture. I lean over to Sophia. "I signed you up. How does that sound?" "You," what she nearly shouts. The rows behind us turn to look. Miss Jo glances our way, clearing her throat. Quiet in the back. As class continues, Sophia shoots me a thoroughly withering look. I raise my hands, pretending to be innocent, but my smile quickly fades. Sophia stomps her foot onto mine, grinding it down, only lifting it when she has had enough. I try hard not to wince. "It was just a joke," I whisper. Sophia snorts coldly and ignores me. Across the aisle, Ray gives me a thumbs up. "Respect you actually went after the campus queen." Class wraps up quickly. After the bell, I head to the bathroom to splash some water on my face, passing a group in the hallway. Something about them immediately rubs me the wrong way. When I return, my seat is surrounded. Looking closer, it is the same guys from the hallway. "Sophia, you are back. Why didn't you tell me you transferred?" "I only found out from the forum." Sophia frowns without looking at him. "Wade, do I know you well enough for this? Back off." A flash of embarrassment crosses Wade's face, turning cold and hard. I just came to check on you. I do not need that. Wade starts to speak, but a voice speaks up from behind him. Hey, you are blocking my way. Wade turns around to find me standing there, completely expressionless. Who are you? That is my seat, and you are all in my way. He glances down, noticing my black bag tucked next to Sophia's desk. A surge of bitterness rises in his chest. She had never allowed anyone to sit next to her before. You do not need to sit here anymore, he says coldly. I smile without warmth, my voice dropping. You want to repeat that. The air shifts. A heavy silence falls over the classroom as everyone backs away. Wade steps up to my seat and hurls my bag to the floor. I said, you do not sit here, Wade. That is enough. Sophia stands up, her eyes cold as ice. But before she can finish, I drive my fist into Wade's stomach. As he doubles over, I grab his wrist and execute a clean shoulder throw. Wade slams onto the floor before he even knows what hit him. The physical pain is nothing compared to the absolute humiliation. His crew freezes. They were ready to jump in, but seeing how fast he went down, nobody moves. Wade struggles up, trying to charge again, when Summer, our deputy representative, speaks up. Class is starting, and the teacher will be here any second. Are you staying or leaving? Wade has no choice. He rounds up his crew and heads out. At the door, he throws me a look that could freeze water. You will regret this. Then he leaves. I sit back down without even glancing his way. Miss Jo walks in shortly after, immediately sensing the heavy tension. All right, why is everyone standing around? Take your seats, we are starting. Everyone sits down. During class, Sophia keeps glancing over. I am sorry for dragging you into this, she whispers. I look at her and smile. I do not hear any sincerity in that. Sophia glares annoyed that I am taking a mile when given an inch. Her mood is completely ruined. Watching her white-knuckled grip on her pen, I hide a smile. This girl still cannot take a joke. Relax, I do not blame you. I just hate guys like that. Seeing my laid-back attitude, she goes quiet. After the bell, she feels the need to explain. Wade is one of her persistent pursuers, and he has powerful backing. His family is incredibly wealthy. Unlike the others who eventually gave up, Wade is like a bad rash that simply will not go away. While everyone else tries to avoid awkwardness, he just keeps pushing. She has no clue how to handle him. I look at her, my eyes wide. An absolute human punching bag. Honestly, I kind of respect the commitment. I smirk at her. He is really putting in the work. Maybe you should just say yes. Xiao Chen, I want absolutely nothing to do with him. Enough, let us get food. Over the next few days, the whole campus is distracted. A massive stage has been built on the field. I have zero interest in it, but Zach sees a golden business opportunity. He wants me to sell bubble tea there, promising it will sell like crazy. I try to object, but you cannot argue with the boss. At 7 in the evening, the show kicks off. I weave through the crowd carrying a heavy crate of bubble tea. Want some bubble tea? I ask everyone I pass. In no time, most of the drinks are gone, mostly because of my looks. Almost all my buyers are girls, and many try to slip me their WeChat. I decline every time, leaving them to walk away pouting. Just then someone calls my name. I turn and see Sophia and Lisa. Oh, you two. I look at Sophia. Aren't you supposed to be at work? I took the night off to enjoy the music. Watching us, Lisa pouts from the sidelines. Could you two tone it down? I am still here. Sophia shoots her a glare. Nobody asked you. Look, Sophia skipped dinner and came to complain to me. Lisa tells her to stop making things up. Then grins. Could the great Xiao Chen treat us to some tea? Sophia's about to refuse when she sees me pull out a drumstick and a lime yuzu tea from the crate. Why didn't you eat? Here, make do with this. Sophia blinks, wanting to say nothing tastes right unless Xiao Chen cooks it. Their taste is totally spoiled. Then Lisa tugs at my sleeve. What about me? I slip right back into my blank expression. Sophia's best friend, discount 20% off. Lisa's face twitches. Fine, I'll stop being the third wheel. She is joking, of course. She buys a cup and calls it done. Sophia sips the tea I gave her. Something inside her shifts in a way she can't explain. Lisa watches with that trademark grin. I mean, come on. He already knows you like lime yuzu tea, and he had it ready for you. Lisa. It's not what you think. The 2.5-hour show flies by. The host steps up to wrap things up. We're doing a little game. Whoever the light lands on has to come up and show us a talent. The crowd cheers, happy to play along. The spotlight sweeps the crowd, making everyone nervous. It lands on a corner. My eye twitches. I seriously didn't see this coming. Lisa, of course, makes it worse. Xiao Chen. What are you going to do? Sophia beside her says nothing, but her face betrays her completely. The corners of her mouth curl up. She clearly wants to watch me suffer. Congratulations to the student over there. Come on up. I drag myself upstage. The host takes one look at me, and her eyes light up. She recovers quickly, leaning into the mic with a playful smile. So what's the plan, dancing, singing? Even if you're completely tone deaf, give it a shot. I'll sing an old song, The Ocean. In the audience, Sophia's eyes fly open. She goes completely still, her expression frozen. Then the intro begins. My voice fills the space deep and magnetic. The crowd is instantly captivated, but in the corner, Sophia's eyes have already turned red. She starts singing softly along. When the last note fades, I slowly lower the mic. The host walks back up. Thank you so much for that performance. Nobody saw that coming. After a few quick words with her, I make my way back. When I arrive, Sophia's head is down. I don't notice if anything's wrong. I glance at her. Let's go, Sophia. She gives a soft okay and follows. The moment we clear the field, her hand catches my arm. I turn a little confused. What's wrong? Sophia's eyes are glistening, but in the dark I can't quite make it out. I can only tell that something is weighing on her. That song, why did you choose it? It's the only one I really know. Someone taught it to me. It means something. Was that person important? Sophia stares at me, more serious than I've ever heard her. I nod. The hardest part is I never got to say goodbye. That drags my mood down too. I quietly pull my hand back. Come on, let's head home. You seem different tonight. Sophia shrugs it off. Just not in the mood. She watches me. Walk ahead, standing there for a moment, unable to look away. Xiao Chen. Little Chen, is it really you? Back at the apartment, Sophia sits on the couch, watching me move around the kitchen, unable to look away. She holds my image up against a memory from her childhood, and the details line up, even the name. Can the world really be that small? She knows it sounds ridiculous, building a theory on a song and a name, but she needs to know if he really is Little Chen. Then the thought hits, and Sophia's hand closes into a fist. She wants to march over, demand answers, and hit him for what happened back then, but she pulls herself back. Reason wins. Noodles are ready, coming. Sophia walks over to find 2 big bowls waiting on the table. As she eats, her eyes keep drifting to me. Stop staring. You've looked at me like 10 times. Is there something on my face? And what if I am... There is an edge to her voice. I shake my head. Ever since the show, it's like she switched. Sophia notices, too, that her tone is sharper than she meant and goes quiet. They finish dinner in silence. Afterward, she lies on her bed, tossing and turning, unable to settle. Tonight has shaken something loose in her. Sleep will not come easy. The next day in class, Ray leans over. The National Day holiday starts tomorrow. Pretty boy Xiao, you heading home? Yeah, haven't seen my grandpa in a while. Time to check on him. I say without hesitation. Ray accepts that he isn't changing my mind. Such a shame. None of us in the dorm are going home. We're going to hang out over the break. Sophia, sitting nearby, catches my answer. Something flickers in her eyes. At noon, while I'm cooking, she appears in the doorway. You're going home for the break. Yeah, why do you ask? Can I come with you? I stare at her, completely thrown. Sophia, what are you thinking? A girl like her randomly asking to come home with me, it doesn't add up. I'm serious. My mom is busy, so it doesn't matter whether I go home or not. Staying here is boring, so I want you to take me in. She looks genuinely pitiful as she says it. I meet those pleading eyes and cave. Fine, feel free. Thank you so much. She thinks for a second and adds, also your cooking is just that good. Going days without it would be a real shame. Of course, her real reason is that she wants to see where Xiao Chen grew up. Maybe she can find something that confirms if he's really the person she thinks he is. You've really fallen for my cooking. Sophia laughs. Going with you might be the best decision I ever made. I almost missed out on a personal chef. They both head to their rooms to pack. I have barely anything, just a backpack. Sophia, on the other hand, has a ton of stuff and takes forever. She eventually comes out dragging a small suitcase. You took forever, I say, getting up. I can't help adding, girls just have so much stuff. Have a little patience. She gives me a look and mutters something under her breath. The train station is packed because of the holiday. I'm up front, constantly urging Sophia to keep up. That tips her over the edge. She speeds up, shoves the suitcase at me, and says, a man who makes a girl carry her own luggage, here, it's yours now. She dusts off her hands like it's the most natural thing in the world. I look at the suitcase. It's light. I genuinely can't understand how something this light took so long to pack. Why are you standing there? Go get the tickets and get mine too while you're at it. I sigh obey and line up at the machine. Sophia watches from a bench nearby. On the train, we end up standing in a corner. At first, I manage to keep some space between us, but as more people crowd in, we end up pressed together. The warmth and scent coming off me makes Sophia's face go red instantly. Don't stand so close. People finally get off at the next stop and some room opens up. I shift to the right immediately and look away. Sophia catches the flush at my ears, and something pulls at the corner of her mouth. She thinks back to those few minutes of contact, her mind starting to drift. That feeling of being looked after is something she hasn't had in a very long time. Soon we arrive at the building where Grandpa lives. I get the key, open the door, and call out Grandpa. At the familiar voice, an old man in the kitchen turns away from the dough he's kneading. Little Chen is back. He spots the girl behind me. And who is this A classmate? She has some things going on at home, so she's staying with us over the break. Hello, Grandpa. My name is Sophia Sue. Grandpa Wei looks at Sophia and smiles warmly. He hadn't expected me to bring anyone home, especially a girl. Beautiful name. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Once Sophia is settled in the guest room, I join Grandpa in the living room. He sets a bottle of beer in front of me and pours himself a glass of clear spirits. I smile. Grandpa only drinks when he's truly happy, and the reason is obvious. I'm home. Between summer and the start of term, I've been away for well over a month. We talk for a bit, and then Grandpa suddenly asks, "So what's going on with that girl?" "Nothing's going on. Just a regular classmate." Grandpa Wei gives me a long look. This old man's eyes still work fine. The way you two act around each other isn't normal. You're finally thinking about someone, aren't you? Don't go saying things like that. You'll give her the wrong idea. Just as we're talking, Sophia comes out of her room and sees us both with drinks in hand. She walks straight over. "Grandpa, too much alcohol is not good for you." Grandpa Wei laughs. "You're right. This kid kept pushing me, but I'm done." I stare baffled. How did this land on me? Sophia turns to me with her hand out looking like she means business. "Hand it over. Finish what's in the bottle just this once." She's absolutely not asking. I reluctantly hand it to her and she pours it down the drain. My heart sinks. I used to drink freely back at the apartment. One trip home and my freedom is gone. When did she get so bossy? I give up and head to the bathroom. Sophia appears in the doorway. "Alcohol is bad for you. You're really something else, honestly. Agreeing to bring you back here was a mistake. Too late, I'm already here and nothing's making me leave." The next morning, I'm up at 4. Grandpa runs a small steamed bun stall on the street nearby. I'm up early to help him bring in the supplies. After a few trips back and forth, dawn begins to break. The first customers trickle in for their buns, and I handle them all. Before long, my phone buzzes with Sophia, asking where I went. I send her the address and tell her to come over. She shows up soon after and jumps right in to help. "What time did you get up around 4? Sophia makes a small sound and gives me a teasing look. So even a lazy pig like you can be motivated when it counts. "I've never seen you this early at school. I have nothing to say to that." Just then, a middle-aged man stops at the stall. "Hey, if it isn't little Chen back for the holiday." I smiling this morning, the old neighbor turns to look at Sophia. Little Chen brought his girlfriend home. Sophia's face turns red, totally caught off guard and speechless. I quickly speak up first, just a classmate. Something happened at her home, so she is staying with us for a few days. Sophia clenches her fist. That dismissive tone, he is totally asking for it. The old neighbor clearly does not buy it, but he chats for a bit, grabs his buns, and walks off. The second he leaves, Sophia cannot hold back anymore. Xiao Chen. My gut says run, and I bolt. "Stop right there, I have had it with you. Your mouth is absolutely insufferable." We tear through the streets one after the other. I finally duck behind a park bench and crouch there. After a moment, I look around. No one is there. I let out a breath. That girl has insane stamina. I am barely alive. She must have given up by now, right? I have not even caught my breath when a familiar voice speaks up right behind me. I spin around. Sophia is standing there, arms crossed, looking thoroughly amused. "Keep running, go ahead." I shake my head. "I am done. Please have mercy." Sophia shows no mercy. She grabs me by the collar and pins me down. Then she lets out every single bit of frustration that has been building up for the past month. All of it. She feels genuinely better afterward. Okay, are you done? Let go of me first." "Fine, but first say the word." "Call me Sophia." "No, wait, call me something better. Call me your big sister and I will let you go." "Why would I?" "Because I am older than you." "Prove it." "How do you know for sure?" "What year were you born?" 2002. I try not to look guilty. 2004. There you go, calling me your big sister's perfectly reasonable, little Chen. I turn red and look away. We are not related, so calling you that just feels weird. Sophia watches me, smiling without a word. Xiao Chen's age lines up perfectly with little Chen's. She wonders if it was really him all those years ago, showing up at her door every day, trailing behind her like a little shadow, calling her big sister. Back at the apartment, Sophia gets a call from her mom. Sophia, are you coming home for the break? Sophia pauses. No, things are busy at school, no time, all right, but going home is boring anyway, right? Do you even have time for that? Mrs. Sue's voice carries a quiet sadness. Sophia says nothing. She had been thinking about sending Chloe to take her out somewhere. In the end, she sighs. Then stay safe wherever you are, and if you need money, just ask. After hanging up, Sophia lies on the bed, her expression blank. Ever since starting university, she has almost stopped asking her family for money. She has Grandpa to thank for that. If Grandpa had not given her that money, she would never have been short enough to cross paths with little Chen and become his roommate. None of this would have happened. In her office, Mrs. Sue stares at the ended call. The same flat tone every single time. Just then, Chloe comes in worrying about Sophia again. I wanted her to come back, see if you could take her somewhere. That would not have helped, Miss Wan. Things between the two of you will not improve this way. And then there is that guy. Chloe leaves it at that, but Mrs. Sue understands. Since looking into Xiao Chen, they have learned everything there is to know about him publicly. They also know he is sharing an apartment with Sophia and that Sophia has taken on a part-time job. Mrs. Sue had wanted to put her foot down and stop all of it. The Sue heiress should not have to work even if the company is struggling financially. Money is not the issue, but living with some guy worries her. Still knowing her daughter and listening to Chloe's advice, she lets it go. Meanwhile, I was planning to take an afternoon nap, but Grandpa suggests I take Sophia for a walk nearby. I am about to say no when Sophia kicks the couch right under me. Come on, didn't you hear him? Take me out. What is there to even do? You can always go back to sleep later. Yeah, right, look at you. A total lazy pig. You barely ran this morning before you were totally wiped out. You need to exercise more. I am doing just fine. Sophia cracks her knuckles, her face full of threat. With no real choice left, I take her to a nearby park. I stand on the bridge, staring into the distance without really seeing anything. Sophia watches me from behind. She can feel that something is off. She hesitates, then asks quietly, "What about your parents?" They left to find work, got divorced. Neither of them wanted me, so I stayed with Grandpa. I'm sorry, I did not know. The shock hits Sophia hard, followed by something softer, a dull pang. She does not know what to say. It was a long time ago. Even so, something like that leaves a mark. It takes a long time before it stops hurting. I drop my gaze, my voice flat. While I am standing there, lost in thought, a soft hand wraps around mine. Maybe this helps a little. Sophia's face is faintly pink. She has lost count of how many times she has been this bold. My face goes even redder than hers. Let go. You are absolutely shameless, always trying to take advantage. Xiao Chen, you jerk. And just like that, the park becomes a chase scene again. And on the way back that afternoon, they pass a basketball court. Sophia looks at me. Do you play basketball? What are you getting at? Nothing. Want to go one-on-one? She gives me that look. I take the bait. Name the stakes. A satisfied smile spreads across her face. If I win, all I ask is one thing, call me your big sister. I groan, but I go with it. Fine. If I win, I want to get out of jail. Free card. Your hits are no joke. Sophia bursts out laughing and tosses me the ball. The game is close, but in the end, Sophia's skill is just better. I shrug. You win, I cannot match you. We return the ball and leave the court. On the way out, Sophia falls in beside me with a grin. Little Chen hasn't forgotten our bet right. I give a quiet acknowledgement and turn away. She watches the shyness creep across my face and enjoys it thoroughly. Go on then, call me that. I say it once, then go completely silent. Sophia blocks me before I can escape. Didn't quite catch that. One more time. You heard me, a deal's a deal. One time and that's it. I really didn't hear, so it doesn't count. Sophia plants herself in my path, absolutely not moving until she gets what she wants. I give in and say it again. Good little Chen. After all these years, she finally gets to say that name again. I go still. That name, something about hearing it stops me cold. I stare at Sophia trying to find something familiar in her face, but I cannot place it. It cannot be, can it? I am genuinely not sure anymore. What's wrong, little Chen? Sophia asks, curious on the surface, hoping on the inside that he has recognized her. I shake my head. Let's head back. A flicker of disappointment crosses Sophia's face, but she lets it go fast. Girls change a lot growing up, so it makes sense he would not recognize her. That evening, Sophia comes out of the shower to find dinner already on the table. Grandpa watches me head to the bathroom and says, "You go wash up. Sophia and I will start eating." Grandpa, are we not going to wait for little Chen? In just 2 days, Grandpa Wei has noticed the shift in what Sophia calls me. He chuckles. Don't go soft on that rascal, kiddo. That's just how we do things here. Eat first. Sophia's face goes warm. He really just says what he thinks Grandpa has. Xiao Chen always been called Little Chen. Since he was small, sure has. It was his mother who gave him that name. Grown-ups make their choices, and children are the ones who get hurt. Grandpa Wei sighs, and the light fades from his eyes. Sophia feels it too. She already knows what Xiao Chen's life has been like. Let's eat enough of that. After dinner, I am stretched out on my bed, looking at Sophia sitting nearby. You've been running around all afternoon. Are you not tired? Why are you still in my room? Nothing to do, tell me a story. I don't have any good stories. Tell me about the most important person in your life. Something about the question catches me off guard. My mind drifts to early childhood. Who, Sophia asks, barely keeping her excitement in check. Inside, she is quietly holding her breath. When I was little, I met a girl. She was a little chubby and really cute. We spent a lot of time together during that period. We had a lot of fun. Do you know her name, Sophia? Can barely contain herself. What Xiao Chen is describing matches exactly. No, but I always called her big sister. Sophia nearly leaps up from the bed, but she manages to hold it together. Keep going. But I just lie back and look at her. Why are you so interested in my life? Because it's interesting. Tell me more. That's all for tonight. Go to bed. Sophia pouts and finally gets up. Fine, when the time is right, I will tell you about myself too. Nobody asked. Back in her room, Sophia falls asleep with a smile on her face. She is now certain Xiao Chen is her childhood sweetheart. The thought carries her right into sleep and into a dream. When Sophia was little, because of her family situation and her advanced abilities, she never went to kindergarten. Private tutors came to her instead. With no one her age around, she would wander down alone to the little park downstairs. That was where she met Xiao Chen. Back then, his parents were going through a messy divorce. He was too young to understand what was happening. Sophia still remembers it clearly. That little kid came running up to her and said, "Why are you here all by yourself?" Sophia looked at this boy, who was just a little shorter than her, and said with a pout, "A tiny thing like you should be calling me big sister."